Most people can lose weight for a short time, but struggle to keep it off. CBT, or cognitive behaviour therapy, can help you understand how your thinking patterns have been keeping you stuck and give you strategies to move towards sustainable weight management. I'm going to share what CBT involves, how it helps with weight loss, and whether it's worth the money. I'm Dr. Paula Watson. I'm an exercise psychologist and I provide therapy for people struggling with weight, exercise or food. On my channel, I share psychological tips to help you stay healthy and feel good about you. I'm going to talk you through 9 common questions about CBT for weight loss. What is CBT? How does CBT help with weight loss? Why would CBT work when everything else has failed? What outcomes can you expect? Who is CBT for weight loss for? How long do people do CBT for? What do CBT sessions involve? Is CBT for weight loss worth the money? And how do you find the right therapist? So what is CBT? CBT was developed by Dr. Aaron Beck in the 60s and 70s. It's based on the cognitive model, which has 2 key principles. Principle 1 is that the same situation can lead to many different emotions and behaviours, depending on how we interpret it. For example, 2 children might see a roller coaster. One might automatically think, wow, that looks fun and feel excited. The other might think, eek, that looks scary and feel afraid. It's not the roller coaster itself that leads the children to feel excited or to feel scared. It's what they thought about when they saw the roller coaster that caused them to feel a certain way. The second principle is that these automatic thoughts that pop into our heads are not necessarily true. Often they reflect a distorted reality or they're unhelpful for us. For example, if you're trying to lose weight and every time you see cake, your automatic thought is, I just know I'm going to eat that cake, I have no willpower. This may not be true, and it's not likely going to be very helpful for your weight loss journey. These unhelpful thoughts mean we get stuck in negative cycles, often without our awareness. So CBT helps us to identify and evaluate our automatic thoughts and develop more helpful ways of thinking that are in line with our weight loss goals. So how does CBT help with weight loss? Let's take the example we just talked about to explain how CBT helps. Let's call our fictional client Sam and imagine they've been trying to lose weight for years. The situation is Sam walks past a bakery with lots of delicious looking cakes. The automatic, distorted thought that comes up is, I just know I'm going to eat that cake, I have no willpower. This leads Sam to go into the shop, buy a cake and eat it. They then feel sad, guilty and ashamed because they've given in again, which further reinforces the automatic thought that they had in the first place that they'll always eat cake if they walk past it because they have no willpower. And so the cycle continues. Now let's imagine Sam responds with a more helpful thought to the same situation. The situation is again that Sam walks past a bakery with lots of delicious looking cakes. This time, the automatic helpful thought they tell themselves is, I know I can walk past the shop without eating cake. It's just an automatic reaction. To break this habit, it's important I practice walking past without going in to buy anything. This leads Sam to walk straight past the shop without buying anything. They feel really proud of themselves and motivated to continue on the weight loss journey, which further reinforces the automatic thought they had in the first place that they can walk past the shop without eating cake. And over time, walking past the shop becomes a habit and something they don't even need to think about anymore. We can't control the automatic thoughts that pop up in our heads. We may not even be aware of them, and they're often the result of many years of thinking a certain way. But when you do CBT with me, I can help you learn to identify these thoughts, evaluate how helpful they are or not, and change how you respond to them. And with enough practice and repetition, the automatic thoughts themselves will begin to change and you'll develop more helpful thinking in line with your weight loss goals. Through establishing new routines in this way, the weight begins to drop off naturally and gradually. And importantly, the weight stays off since there's no reason for it to go back on. If you'd like to learn more about sustainable weight loss, please check out my video about healthy and sustainable weight loss and subscribe to my channel. I'm pretty new to YouTube and I'm going to be publishing more content over the next year to provide practical tips to help you manage your weight. So subscribing means you don't miss out. And with being a newbie, every like, every subscribe I get really helps my videos reach people like you because it shows YouTube that the video is worth sharing. So thank you. Why would CBT work when everything else has failed? Most clients come to me because they've got constant food noise in their heads, an extreme dislike of their bodies, and have given up on any belief in their ability to change. This is really understandable. You may feel you've tried every diet going, you've tried exercise, weight loss drugs, even surgery, and still nothing works. It's natural to think, why would I bother with something else if I'm going to fail? Let me ask you 3 questions. Did any of the things you've tried in the past, A, help you identify your thinking patterns and change your relationship with food and exercise? B, help you make sustainable and enjoyable changes you can keep up forever? Or C, acknowledge the psychological challenge of weight loss and focus on helping you feel good about yourself as a person? If you answered no to any of these, you have good reason to believe this time will be different. When you start a program of CBT with me or another suitably qualified therapist, we can help you do all of the above, which in my experience are non-negotiables for long-term weight management. What outcomes can you expect from CBT for weight loss? When clients start working with me, therapy can feel uncertain and scary. I'm asking them to take a great leap of faith and trust a process that feels the total opposite of what they've done before. So diets are no longer going to be miserable. You're going to stop beating yourself up for eating bad foods, and you're going to find a kind voice that you never knew you had. This all feels like a huge mindset shift, and it's understandable you might be skeptical at first, but the clients who trust in the process and stick with it, so even those who started off skeptical, they find that they see a huge difference. And the reason I can be so assured in telling you this is because I've seen client after client change in remarkable ways they didn't believe would be possible. Some of the most common changes I see are the food noise quieting or disappearing altogether, the binging stopping, a more relaxed relationship with food, being able to enjoy social occasions more, or fitting enjoyable movement in, and importantly, learning to be kind to themselves, to recognize their own strengths and reconnecting with their values and aspirations. I suspect the one question you want to know, though, is, do clients lose weight during the time they work with me? Often, but it's important I'm transparent. Weight loss isn't the short-term goal of CBT for weight loss. This might sound strange, but the process of CBT is about helping you develop your thinking patterns and lifestyle behaviors to be able to lose weight sustainably over time. So it can be more helpful to think of CBT as preparation for weight loss rather than a weight loss program. You're not going to be prescribed exercise or given diet plans to follow. Instead, I'll be helping you develop the skills to manage your own eating and exercise in a way that is both sustainable and enjoyable for you. So it's not a quick fix, it's a permanent fix. And it involves some trial and error. So it may take some time before your progress shows in your weight. But if you're consistent and you persevere, your weight will gradually follow, and if it does, it will stay off. Part of what we do is also about helping you develop a healthy relationship with the scales. So we'll weigh weekly and take 4-week averages, but importantly, I'll teach you to use the scales as a learning tool and not to judge yourself. If you'd like to understand more about how to do this and why it works, check out my video on how often you should weigh when losing weight. Who is CBT for weight loss for? One of the best ways to work out if CBT might benefit you is to take my quiz, which is linked in the description below. This 2-minute quiz, it gives you personalized feedback and guidance on what you can do to keep your weight off and how therapy might be helpful for you. But here's a few starting questions you could ask yourself. Have you struggled with your weight for a long time and feel like you've tried everything? Do you feel like a failure, and have you lost confidence in your ability to lose weight and keep it off? Is your weight affecting how you see yourself, your social interactions, or perhaps your work or family life? And do you want to understand why you struggle with your weight and what you can do to change? If the answer to these questions is yes, CBT could definitely be helpful for you. How long do people do CBT for weight loss? It varies how long clients work with me, but a good ballpark can be to aim to see change within 3 to 6 months. Then if you're continuing to lose weight afterwards, a year can be a helpful timescale to aim for. We usually start weekly as it helps to build a relationship and it helps you move forward quicker. Then often clients will taper the sessions out over time, and this helps them build their confidence and establish consistent routines to increase the chances of keeping changes up when the sessions stop. What do CBT sessions involve? How we approach your therapy may depend on your current body mass index or BMI and what symptoms you're experiencing. If you have a lot of distress around your weight or shape, or you've got a very rigid mindset, you're in cycles of binging and restricting, or perhaps purging. So that's vomiting, laxatives, diuretics, or exercise. I might recommend we do a program of CBT to tackle your eating problem first before you try to move forward with any weight loss. In the first couple of sessions, we'll do an evaluation where you're currently at. I'll ask questions about how your weight concerns impact you now, where they first started, and about you as a person, your values, your aspirations, and your strengths. I might ask you to log your food and physical activity for a week, as though you were like a fly on the wall watching your own eating and physical activity behaviour. After this, we'll be able to set some therapy goals to outline what you'd like to achieve through working with me. And when it comes to the sessions themselves, we'll always start by following up what we talked about the previous week, asking about what positives and challenges in the week have happened, and if there's anything you'd like to work on that day. Together, we'll decide what to focus on to help you move towards your therapy goals. So depending on what comes up, we might explore some of the unhelpful thoughts you've been experiencing, we might do work on regulating your emotions, or we might come up with some experiments for you to try out during the week to test your beliefs. Sometimes we might explore your deeper, what we call core beliefs, and where these come from, and help you develop more helpful, positive ways of looking at yourself and your strengths. Then at the end of each session, I'll ask for your feedback, and we'll review how you're finding the sessions, because everyone's different. So it's really important we work in a way that helps you feel safe and helps you move forward. An important part of the sessions will be agreeing an action plan each week. This might be something like logging your thoughts around food on an app, or completing a worksheet to evaluate unhelpful thoughts when they pop up. Or perhaps it might involve trying a new physical activity out, or eating in a different way than usual, and observing what impact it has on your weight. Whatever we do, we'll be deciding this together. So I'll never be forcing you to do something that you don't understand or you'd rather not do. You're the expert on you, and I'll bring my experience from having helped many people like you to change their relationship with food, exercise, and weight. These are just some of the key components of CBT, but if you've got further questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Is CBT for weight loss worth the money? Clients who come to me often feel ashamed to seek support. They think weight should be something that they can manage themselves, and often, despite being successful in other areas of their lives, they feel a failure for not being able to keep the weight off or manage their eating or their exercise problem. Yet when they pluck up the courage to reach out, they wonder why they didn't do it years ago. And I'll always remember the feedback from one of my clients who did a CBT program for binge eating with me, and they said, "It's the best money I've ever spent." Is it worth the money? Only you can answer that. But it might help to consider this. Open up your notes on your phone now and write down all the products you ever purchased to help you achieve your weight goals. This might be memberships for programs, it might be weight loss drugs, fitness equipment, unused gym memberships, weight loss products, or surgery. Add this up and estimate the total. Now imagine you could make one investment that is going to change your relationship with food, weight, or exercise forever. What monetary value would you put on that? Before I was in private practice myself, I used to think private healthcare fees seemed steep, and I'd only pay if something was an absolute must. But now I understand that session fee isn't only for the hour you're with me. It's for planning your session, writing up your notes, additional reading to build my knowledge, ongoing training and supervision to keep me fresh in my practice, as well as all the non-paid activities that allow me to keep practicing as a psychologist. So the emails, the meetings, sharing knowledge through social media like this. But essentially that fee allows me to provide a high quality personalized service that gives you a real chance of making a lasting change. And if you're wondering, when I'm making this video now in 2025, my fee is £100 for 50 minutes. But if you're watching it back in 2030, it's probably a little more by now. So please check my website for up-to-date figures. How do you find the right therapist to help with CBT for weight loss? If you've watched this far, I imagine you're seriously considering therapy. So I wanted to share a final note and a very important note. CBT will not be the same with every CBT therapist. There are some excellent CBT therapists out there, but unfortunately there are some very poor CBT therapists too. So look for someone you feel at ease with, is able to clearly explain how they work, really listens and empathizes with your struggles. Steer clear of anyone you feel judged by, anyone who sees themselves as an expert with a one-size-fits-all approach, or anyone who kind of guarantees success within X number of the weeks. If you're in the UK, look for either a practitioner psychologist registered with the HCPC or a CBT therapist registered with the BABCP. And whilst most CBT therapists could probably provide some relevant support for your weight, you'll get much more value working with someone who specializes in weight behaviors. Think about it. If someone helps people with multiple different conditions, they may only spend 5% of their time helping people with weight concerns. As a specialist in weight, eating, and exercise behaviors, I spend 95% of my clinical time helping people with weight concerns. This means the experience, the expertise, the value I can bring is much greater. So if you like what you've heard and you're ready to get started, you can simply email me to book a free discovery chat. And even if you're not ready for therapy right now, please subscribe to my channel and sign up to my newsletter, where you'll receive tips for putting things into action at home. And please comment below to let me know what you thought of this video and any questions or thoughts you have about CBT for weight loss.